Today, I asked myself a question that I don't think anyone else has. Can you beat Spider-Man 2 without dodging? Now, there have been other YouTubers who have tried this challenge.
Is it possible to play Marvel Spider-Man 2 without dodging? Well, let's find out. Here we go, bro! Oh! Hey! Oh! Look out! Oh, nah. Well.
But they're a little demotivated. So, even if I'm forced to dodge, what is the least amount of dodges necessary? The rules are fairly simple. No dodging unless the game literally will not continue if you don't. So only when absolutely needed. And quick time events don't count since you really can't die from them. To make sure I don't accidentally push the dodge button out of muscle memory, I just reroute the O button to the left D-pad button, which you can see throughout the video makes it really hard to use special and gadgets. Parrying is allowed since it's pretty much impossible to get through the game without it. This is a lot more useful than you think, as we can dodge normal attacks when our spider sense turns red. Also, disclaimer, if there are any dodges in this run, they were not intentional. I wasn't trying to cheat, probably just misclicked and didn't see the dodge. If you want to see the full run, I'll leave a playlist in the description. Since the rules are out of the way, I want to thank Senza for inspiring this video, and now you can watch my journey, becoming a parry master, and the pain that caused. The game goes just as normal until we reach Sandman, so, for like 3 minutes. Okay, this is the boss I'm actually kind of worried about. Cause Sandman is all about dodging. I feel like this one can't count, right? As you saw at the beginning of the video, there's a mandatory dodge where you have to dodge a bus since the game is teaching you its mechanics. The game freezes until you dodge, so I guess that's already dodge number 1. I knew this would unironically be one of the hardest bosses of the run. Sandman's main attack is to slice you with his hand, which must be dodged in order to not take damage.
This is impossible.
I thought I could just tank the hits while attacking him, but he sends you flying if you get hit, and throws more objects at you while you're supposed to dodge.
Man.
And by the way, objects literally curve through the sky to hit you. After around 15 minutes on this one singular boss fight, I found a strategy I thought would work.
Maybe he's hungry. The dog will think I a snack.
Wait. Did I figure it out?
Back to him.
Oh, I think I figured it out. Oh my god. Is this my saving grace?
But turns out that Sandman is literally invincible until you dodge one of his swing attacks. So that's dodge number 2 already. Attacking enemies was quite easy, although I didn't even have the ability to parry yet.
Dude, can I parry it?
Attacking Sandman as Miles was so much easier, although there was a part that I thought would cause another dodge. When you have to climb up a building, Sandman is swatting at you trying to hit you. Luckily, I figured out that you have to run in a certain pattern so things went somewhat smoothly.
Are you serious? Come on! Oh!
At least that's what I thought before you started attacking Sandman's goons. When you encounter your first long-range sand goon, you're forced to dodge for a 3rd time, making it dodge number 3.
Oh, come on.
Luckily, after that, there were no more roadblocks. We got our web wings, defeated all the other goons, and beat Sandman without a sweat. After that, Sandman says we're gonna pay for what we did, but he's not gonna do anything because he's in jail. Then we find out Craven is looking to die by trying to fight me. Literally. After helping out around the city, I go to stop a crime and encounter the biggest enemies in the run.
Whose idea was it to have a gun club in the city?
I can't dodge! Ow! Oh my god.
Ranged enemies. Unlike every other attack enemies will throw at you, ranged attacks cannot be parried even when your spider sense is red. which causes pretty much all the deaths in my playthrough. This made me focus on upgrading health and focus as soon as I got suit tech. Meanwhile, when Miles was fighting some robbers, we finally got the ability to parry, which will be our best friend throughout the run. Before I sucked at parrying, but because of how much I was forced to parry in this game, I almost never missed. Fast forward, we save Jonah, but he still hates us. He gets fired, and we have a panic attack after seeing how far we are in debt. Turns out Harry's back, and the first thing he wants to do is go on a bike ride and break into a school. After the most boring mission imaginable and running from the cops, we have to go to the raft and supervise the villains leaving the raft. And turns out Kraven's coming too. We defeat all the enemies in the boat fairly easily, including those god-awful birds. And soon we find out Kraven's trying to dump our cargo into the ocean. Miles gets gaslit by Scorpion and he escapes. While Miles is on some drug, he finds Martin Lee. Before letting him die, he decides to have a seizure, but the hunters take him instead. Miles also almost let people die, which breaks the #1 rule. With great power comes great responsibility. Once I got some skill points, I decided to upgrade the parry disarm perk, which I didn't know at the time is necessary to beat the game because of enemies with shields.
That's it.
Later, I decided to do the fireworks side mission, and to be honest, I don't want to talk about how many times I died trying to do this. Although the good news is, after Uncle Aaron lets us complete the first Prowler stash, we get suit tech. Then, Peter went to the Emily May Foundation doing some goofy minigames, which I totally do not suck at. We then find a hunter base and find the other worst robot animal in the game, the frickin' dogs. After putting them down, we find out that Scorpion was also put down by Kraven. Miles is then sent on a mission to warn Black Cat that she's next on the chopping block. Instead, we use a magical stick to send her to Paris. Soon after, Miles goes to Coney Island but gets traumatized by Mysterio and the literal demons in his mind. After Peter, MJ, and Harry have some fun at the fair, it turns out that Kraven is trying to capture Tombstone, who's now a respected mechanic. The one thing I do regret about not completing all the rides on this playthrough is that I didn't get to choose a funny hat I could wear while fighting. Then, Peter looks over and sees that one of the rides is getting early demolition. Luckily, Harry with his new black goo is there to save him. We then find the base where they're hiding Tombstone, and Harry thinks he's that guy, so he decides to join us with his new black suit.
There's our guy. What's the plan? I think we should get him.
After beating a bunch of enemies quite easily, Harry decides to go into the furnace and break Tombstone out from the inside. This part originally confused me because one of Venom's only weaknesses is fire, but I guess they just changed that for the game. Once Tombstone escapes, we get the best chase scene of any video game.
This scene is so cool. This chase scene.
Is this job always so stressful? Yoga's done wonders for my mental health.
Trying to die here? Move it!
No! We lost him! Don't panic! Quick, this way! Harry! Harry!
Oh.
Gotta keep moving.
Oh. Dude! That scene is so cool, man.
We then get an MJ stealth mission in which the missions are actually good. Although they did add dodging in these missions, so I don't know what to say about that. Unfortunately, the introduction to this dodging mechanic causes us a dodge, making the number of mandatory dodges 4.
Oh, come on. I can't dodge. I can't dodge. Are you serious? Fine. Add another one to the counter.
After finding the key and the code to the gate, we free Dr. Connors. Not until after he's injected with the lizard serum. Pete and Harry come to escort MJ and Connors. While trying to protect Connors, Spider-Man gets shanked by Kraven, which was surprising since he isn't British. Once the lizard escaped, Harry handed over his literal parasite to his dying friend, but it did end up saving his life, so I can't really complain. Finally, the game gets good with new abilities. Once we find out Kraven's having a party, we do what any normal person would do and sneak in as a literal spy. Once inside, we find Kraven's pet tiger, which is actually pretty cool, and decide to feed it 1,000 pounds of pure uranium. But then, some party poopers snitched on us. After defeating all the enemies and throwing a guy out the window, we tracked down the guy who tattletaled on us, because you know what they say about snitches. Once we meet Kraven in the church, he unfortunately found our weakness, but we fortunately got the serum. Pete then goes back to the EMF Foundation and is waiting to create the serum, but then hunters come by and ruin everything by destroying the entire foundation. Pete then goes to Connor's house and tries to find him to cure him, but is clearly getting more and more emo.
Let me tell you how this is all gonna go down. You leave Connors alone. He doesn't deserve this.
Miles then goes after Lizard and realizes he's getting a little bit too hungry. Both Miles and Peter chase after Lizard, but if you've seen the trailer, just imagine that, but without dodging. Although the part where the lizard chases you in the water is the part where I thought the run was over.
I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
He's right behind you. I know. Go faster. Fly faster.
Luckily, we got past that and are now on our way to fight the lizard. The lizard fight introduces us to a completely new attack called crush attacks, which need to be dodged, which is, you know, kind of a problem for us. Heck, it even forces us to dodge for the first crush attack, making the mandatory amount of dodges 5.
To dodge.
Hey, Doc. Ready for your annual physical? I got this.
I can't move. Yep. Crush attacks cannot be parried or blocked. You must dodge when you see the blue warning. Yeah, already.
Luckily, if you move away from crush attacks fast enough, they can't hit you. The first and second phase were an absolute breeze. I didn't even die. The chase I thought would be difficult because of the objects being thrown at you, but you only threw like 3 items. And the building scene where you have to dodge the car was fairly easy too, since you can just heal the damage. Phase 3 though was more difficult because of the randomness of his attacks and the increased crush attacks. It was so much harder to the point where I died. I still managed to beat him though.
Alright. Someone is down.
I can inject the antidote into his gums if I get close enough.
This gotta be it. Come on.
Dr. Connors then tells us we are wearing a literal alien, but Spider-Man doesn't listen to his doctor, so he doesn't care. We then cut to MJ's house getting swatted by hunters, so we decide to upgrade our gun and trespass on multiple people's property. Peter then makes it to the bridge, and Miles fights off a bunch of hunters trying to capture Peter. But then, Miles also gets shanked by a construction worker, which is also surprising. You know why. MJ gets stuck in the tunnel with Peter, and we get the second coolest chase scene.
MJ.
Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. God. Oh my gosh.
That's my exit.
I almost didn't hit that.
Meanwhile, Miles is escaping from some abandoned building the hunters have taken over. After beating enemies and going through puzzles, it turns out he's in a coliseum for him to fight in, with none other than Mr. Negative there too. This fight was pretty tough. He had multiple crush attacks and multiple long-range attacks, so he's almost never open to hit. And it turns out, I'm not sure if this is on purpose or not, but if you die on the final phase, it sends you back to the second phase, which happened to me on this run, and even in my first run. The fight just took a lot of time and a lot of healing. We're then sent to some limbo dimension in Miles' mind, and are talked down on by all our friends and family.
Pete?
Huh?
You don't get it. Hell, Miles. I mean, I know this is you, Lee. I tried to teach. Of course it is. To make you into a hero. I'm always here for you. Are you every second?
What?
Not listening. All that matters is you.
Luckily, we escaped through some power of friendship. Miles then helps Lee escape to warn Spider-Man of where he is. Peter talks to Martin Lee and still absolutely despises him even though he gave him useful info. Once we get there, Peter goes on a rampage, almost killing someone by hitting them with a car. Once in the pit, Peter is trapped in a box, although I'm not sure why he just didn't lift the box. Since the box fell from the ceiling, it has no bottom, so you could push it up and trap Craven or something. Whatever. You then get the best boss fight in the game. The one upside of Craven's boss fight is that it has many parryable attacks, which is great when you can't dodge. The only problem was the mines, but you can just web zip out of the way instead of dodging. Everything else was the same, except for Phase 2. Phase 2 was a lot more challenging, and a lot more fun. Craven can now turn invisible whenever he wants, so you always have to be on your toes for when you have to parry. He now also has a ranged attack, so you have to hit him out of this tree before he snipes you. The bell is no issue since if you know what you're doing, it only really rings twice. Only annoying part was the dogs, but they're always annoying, so it didn't really change anything. Once Craven was defeated and got a little sus when Peter was choking him, Miles arrived and has to fight Peter in the other coolest boss fight. Peter has many attacks, one after another, so if you miss a parry on one of them, you're gonna get the 1-2 combo. Also, those cutscenes have the coolest frames of all time. I mean, just look at them. Once Peter involves his crush attacks is when the fight really gets tough. They are almost impossible to dodge, and if you get hit by one, you're guaranteed to get hit by the next one. The projectiles make it a little bit easier though, since you can activate the bell. And after all of that, we finally got rid of that Venom suit, and we have our goofy spider arms back. We then go back to Oscorp to destroy the symbiote, but Harry meets us there and breaks the symbiote free, and turning himself into all 19 inches of Venom.
I definitely don't want to miss out on 19 inches of Venom, you know.
Luckily, while playing as Venom, we can use either O or L1 to parry, so we technically can't dodge at all as Venom, so that's a major plus.
Yeah.
After going through the entire Oscorp building, we go outside and destroy all the hunters there too. We then get the very much needed rematch with Craven. I gotta say, I feel like they made this boss fight easy on purpose, just to show how strong Venom is. It took no effort at all to defeat him. Looks like he couldn't handle them 19 inches of Venom. Soon after, we find the worst enemies in the game, the symbiote. Oh my god, all of them have extreme amounts of health. Well, except the green ones, but you can only kill them by dodging their attacks. Although, I did figure out later on, you just have to whip them up. And the pink ones are the normal yellow ones, which is stronger, and they have ranged attacks. So I would always try to get rid of the pink ones first. We then go and save Genki and Rio from the train using a bomb. Turns out, while Peter wasn't home, Harry went and captured MJ, turning her into another Venom symbiote called Scream. Scream was definitely the hardest boss because she had crush attacks on every phase and long range attacks in every phase. Her attacks were quick and unpredictable. Imagine Martin Lee, but like times 3. You have to use your gadgets and abilities in order to defeat her, because you're gonna get hit by crush attacks over and over and over again. After dying like 3 or 4 times, I was finally able to beat her.
No.
After getting to City Hall, Peter and Miles get dogpiled on by a bunch of symbiotes. Luckily, Mr. Negative was there to save him. Peter was a little infected though, so they went into his mind to see what was making him so emo. Once out of Peter's head, he gets his anti-venom suit, and we finally get to use good attacks again. Also, can we talk about how Dante DM pronounces behemoth?
Oh, he got owned. Whoa, okay.
Try this again.
Symbiote Behemoth. I love that word. I don't even know why.
After Harry spread his goo everywhere, we have to save everyone from symbiote goons. We then meet up with Miles, and okay, I just want to say this, like for real, Miles's new suit is actually good, okay? Like I hear people saying all the time that the suit is bad, but the suit looks cool. Like sure it doesn't look like Miles's old suit, but it still looks good. Well, the only bad thing about it is that it's just an ad for Adidas.
Okay, one thing I want to say.
That suit's not an
This suit is so overhated. I did not say overrated. I said overhated. This suit is cool. I love it.
Looks good.
It does. It looks good. But everyone's like, ugh.
Peter, as a simp he is, goes after Harry before Miles can get to him, and ends up fighting for his life in the train station.
What the? Okay, that kind of scared me, bro. What the? Bam! Look at that. Look at how many dudes I took on at once. Wait.
After a solid 3 minutes of non-stop fighting, we finally encounter Venom and figure out where the rocket giving him his power is. After forming a plan, we're finally going to get rid of all 19 engines of Venom. MJ goes on a stealth mission with an actual lethal gun this time, and gets rid of all the symbiotes to steal the rock. We then encounter a behemoth, and I'm embarrassed to say how many times I died with this thing. It's not even tough to beat. Maybe it's because I couldn't roll, but whatever. It's not even hard. He's not even supposed to be a hard boss. Anyway, we then finally escape the cave and get to fight the final boss. First phase of the fight was pretty much normal, although I couldn't dodge crush attacks, so I always got absolutely dunked on. Seriously, I got smashed into the floor like 4 times. The second phase was harder because you had to defeat symbiotes in order to damage Venom, so you can't tell when you have to block Venom's attack or you're just dodging some random symbiote's attack, and we're about to get absolutely bodied. Neither of the first 2 phases were really special, but the last 2 were definitely something else. For the third phase, the shining projectiles Venom throws at you curve towards you, so they seem pretty much impossible to dodge. Luckily, if you jump or web zip, they can no longer lock onto you. The thing with Venom is that if you miss any parry, the attacks are so quick that you'll just get stuck in a combo, although the third phase is nowhere near as bad as the last one. There's so many more crush attacks, as well as a wave attack, which is like you have to get off the ground, and its attacks are way faster and more consistent, so you can almost never heal up. I got to the final flying phase a couple times, but that's when I found the issue that almost made this run impossible. The orbs Venom throws at you also lock onto you. Not only that, they stun you, so you can't swing into the air. Only 4 of these attacks are needed in a row to kill you. You need 2 full focus bars at least, all your abilities and your ultimate ready, as well as gadgets, just to barely survive. And somehow I managed to do that.
See it now. We're not so different, man.
We are
after all of that, I finally beat the game. Is it possible to beat Spider-Man 2 without dodging? Technically, no. You only have to dodge 5 times, which is actually a pretty low number in my opinion. I suggest this run to anyone who still thinks Spider-Man 2 is too easy of a game. This is really fun to make, and I hope you subscribe if you enjoyed, and check out some of my other content. Peace out, and thanks for watching.